The sun was bleeding out over the cracked asphalt of the Blacktop Bar parking lot, painting the chrome on a dozen Harleys the color of fresh blood. Inside, the jukebox howled a forgotten Outlaw anthem, while the Devil's Reapers laughed loud enough to rattle the neon signs. They were celebrating a fresh shipment, cash stacked in saddlebags, when the front door creaked open and every head turned. A woman stepped through the haze of cigarette smoke and cheap whiskey. She wore a faded denim jacket 2 sizes too big, boots scuffed from miles of highway, and in her right hand she carried a Colt Python that looked older than she was. The laughter died like someone yanked the plug on the jukebox. One biker, a mountain of a man named Crusher with a spiderweb tattoo crawling up his neck, leaned back on his stool and grinned. "Little lady you lost?" he mocked. The room erupted again, boots stomping, bottles clinking. She didn't flinch. She raised the revolver, steady as a preacher's promise, and the only sound left was the click of the hammer. "I'm here for my son," she said, voice low, steady, cutting through the room like a straight razor. "Hey, if you're already on the edge of your seat, hit that subscribe button right now and ring the bell. You don't want to miss what happens next, trust me." Her name was Lena Harper, and 3 weeks earlier she'd been folding tiny T-shirts in a laundromat outside Tulsa, humming along to whatever played on the old radio, when her phone buzzed with a photo she never wanted to see. Her boy, Mason, 16 years old, with his father's crooked smile, zip-tied to a metal chair in some warehouse, eyes wide with terror. The message was simple: bring the money your ex stole, or the kid becomes a ghost. Lena's ex, Ray, had vanished years ago after ripping off the wrong people who wore cuts with devil horns stitched on the back. She thought that life was buried with him. She was wrong. She'd driven straight through the night, 3 states, no. Sleep. Fueled by gas station coffee and the kind of rage that turns a mother into something biblical. The Reapers clubhouse sat on the edge of an abandoned industrial park, chain-link fence sagging like old skin. Lena had parked her rattling pickup 2 miles out, walked the rest under cover of darkness, and waited until the party spilled into the lot. She knew they'd laugh. She counted on it. Crusher stood first, all 6'5" of him, knuckles scarred from 100 bar fights. "You got stones, I'll give you that," he said, cracking his neck. "But that gun's shaking, sweetheart." It wasn't. Lena's hand was rock steady, but her heart hammered so hard she felt it in her teeth. Behind Crusher, a wiry guy named Twitch reached for the sword-off, leaning against the bar. Lena swung the Python an inch to the left and fired. The mirror behind the bar exploded in a shower of glass and whiskey. The room froze. "Next one goes in a knee," she said. "I'm not here for you. I'm here for Mason." The president of the Reapers, a silver-haired viper called Preacher, unfolded himself from a corner booth. His eyes were ice blue, the kind that had stared down cops and corpses alike. "Ray Harper's woman," he said, almost smiling. "Heard he skipped town with our retirement fund. You got it?" Lena reached slow into her jacket with her left hand and pulled out a flash drive on a chain. Coordinates to the offshore account, she lied. It was empty, a decoy she'd burned an hour to create on a library computer. "My son for the money, that was the deal." Preacher tilted his head, considering, then he nodded toward the back door. "He's in the shop, but you walk in there pointing that cannon, you won't walk out." Lena didn't lower the gun. She backed toward the door, boots crunching on glass, eyes never leaving the room. The Reapers parted like a dirty Red Sea. Outside, the air smelled of oil and mesquite. A corrugated metal garage loomed 50 yards away, its roll-up door half open, yellow. Light spilling out like infection. She was 10 steps from the shop when the first bullet whizzed past her ear. Twitch, that twitchy bastard, had circled around back. Lena dove behind a stack of tires as muzzle flashes lit the night. The Python roared twice. One shot sparked off the concrete, the other found Twitch's shoulder. He screamed and dropped. The lot erupted. Engines revving, men shouting, boots pounding gravel. Lena sprinted for the shop, heart in her throat, praying the kid was still breathing. Inside, the air was thick with gasoline and fear. Mason was there, tied to the same metal chair from the photo, duct tape over his mouth, one eye swollen shut. He saw her and thrashed, chair legs scraping. Lena's hands shook now, but only for a second. She holstered the python, yanked a box cutter from her pocket, and sliced the zip ties. "Mom?" Mason croaked when the tape came off. "I knew you'd come." She pulled him close, smelled the blood in his hair, and whispered, "Not without you." That's when the lights went out. Someone killed the breaker. Darkness swallowed the shop, broken only by the orange flicker of a Molotov cocktail sailing through the side window. Glass shattered, flames whooshed across the concrete, racing toward drums of racing fuel. Lena grabbed Mason's hand and ran for the back exit, but the door was chained. Preacher's voice crackled over a bullhorn outside. "Burns cleaner than lies, Lena." Heat licked her heels. She scanned the shop, tool benches, chains, a hydraulic lift. Then she saw it, an old welding torch, tank still half full. She dragged Mason behind an engine block, sparked the torch, and cut a gaping hole through the corrugated wall in seconds. Sparks showered like the 4th of July. They crawled through into the cool night, smoke billowing behind them. The reapers were waiting. Crusher blocked their path to the fence, chainsaw roaring in his hands. Lena raised the python. Click. Empty. She'd fired all 6 rounds. Crusher grinned like... Christmas came early. Mason, bruised and shaking, stepped in front of her. "Take me," he said. "Let her go." The kid's voice cracked, but he didn't back down. Something shifted in Crusher's eyes. Maybe the ghost of his own mother. Maybe just surprise. It was enough. Lena lunged, grabbed a loose chain from the ground and whipped it around Crusher's ankle. He toppled like a redwood. She and Mason bolted. They hit the fence at a dead sprint. Lena boosted Mason over the razor wire, ignoring the tear in her jacket and the blood running down her arm. She climbed after, boots slipping on chain link, and dropped into the weeds on the other side just as the shop exploded in a fireball that lit the sky. The reapers scattered, shouting, engines screaming into the night. Headlights cut through the smoke, her pickup, exactly where she'd left it, keys still under the mat. She'd paid a prospect kid $20 and a sob story to watch it. They piled in, Mason coughing, Lena flooring it down a dirt service road that spit them onto the interstate. Sirens wailed in the distance, but they were miles gone before the first cop arrived. Dawn found them at a diner off I-40, Mason asleep against her shoulder, coffee cooling between her hands. She slid the real flash drive across the table to a U.S. Marshal who'd been waiting in a corner booth. Ray's original theft had been part of a federal sting. The reapers were the bait. Lena had volunteered to deliver the final piece, evidence that would bury the club for good. In return, Mason got a new name, a new life, and a mother who'd never let go again. The last anyone saw of the Devil's Reapers, Preacher was cuffed on the 6 o'clock news. Spiderweb tattoos hidden under an orange jumpsuit. The clubhouse burned to cinders. And somewhere out on the endless highway, a woman in a denim jacket taught her son how to change a tire, how to spot a lie, and how to keep driving until the rearview mirror shows nothing but open road. That's the story of the night a mother walked into hell with 6 bullets and walked out with her whole world. If it hit you in the chest, smash that like button, share it with someone who needs to remember what love can do, and tell me in the comments from which part of the country are you watching this video.